What's good, B1 family? It's your boy Big Dick. Welcome back to MyBlackU universe. Y'all see the shirt is on. Y'all see the shirt is on. This is on the iPhone front-facing camera. The one that's underneath the dynamic island. But the colors look so much better. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our brother Ronald Stevens. Some of y'all went and got this book. Some of y'all feel away about the A is for Africa. I get it. Africa fatigue is at an all-time high. However, we're going to get some pictures and put it on the site, and then I'm going to make sure I put it in this video and on the community tab. And shout out to everyone who's engaged the community tab. There's a lot that's been going on. I want to cuss. I did cuss. I took a take where I cussed. I had to take it out. Because YouTube, if you cuss within so many minutes, they ain't pushing that video at all. However, let's get down to the uckery that happened yesterday with Rick Chow.
You shot a 14-year-old child in the back after incorrectly assuming he stole a bottle of water worth at most $1, but I'm willing to hear your side. Closing arguments wrapped up today in the Rick Chow case. Let's do a breakdown. The prosecution started closing arguments by asking a simple question: how much is a life worth? And if I personally had to put a number on it, I would dang sure say it's worth more than a bottle of water. So let's start with what really isn't in dispute. It's not disputed that Cyrus was 14 years old. It's not disputed that he walked into the store owned by the Chow family. It's not even disputed that he went over to where the waters were. It's not disputed that he had a gun on him, although the store owners did not know that at the time, and that's important. Put a pin in it, we'll get to that later, but that's pretty much where the agreement ends. The prosecution says that the Chows assumed that Cyrus, the 14-year-old, stole a bottle of water when he didn't, but I'll even give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they thought that he was acting suspiciously because he picked up a water bottle and put it back, something like that. Look, I don't know exactly what he was doing, but what I do know is there's been no evidence presented that he actually stole any water. I think it's clear he didn't, but they chased him out of the store because they assumed he did. Mind you, according to the evidence, the mama, the daddy, and the son all ran after him. So at this point, they left the store unattended, all three adults, to chase a 14-year-old boy who did not even steal anything.
And right there, for me, that's intent. Because why are you leaving your store fully unattended? Fully unattended. That sound like, hey, I need backup. Because whatever's about to go down is about to go down. Kind of like when the cops, you know what I'm saying, they be a whole bunch of them and they do something and all of a sudden they can make up a story and say, oh yeah, hey, woo, woo, woo. All right, this is what we're going to say. We're going to, hey, he pulled the gun on you and we got the best of him and we're cops, we're white, it's going to go away. That's what it feels like to me.
Right. So according to the prosecution, multiple witnesses described Cyrus running so hard that he actually came up out one of his shoes, his phone, his mom's phone. He dropped both of them. He hit the ground hard, scuffed up his body. The prosecution says he fell so hard that the gun that he was carrying actually fell out and a piece of it broke off. They say he picked it back up, he kept running, and he was shot in the back. Now, another thing the prosecution brought up is this store apparently has a whole wall dedicated to alleged shoplifters. They have pictures everywhere, so they even use facial recognition technology so that they can put you in a database. They're super serious about catching shoplifters. Okay, fine.
That's the thing. Why not use that? Why are all three of you chasing this young man? Put him on the wall. If you believe that, put him on the wall. It's easier to do that. However, considering the verdict, maybe they taking the chance and they figured, hey, we got it. Makes you wonder how wealthy this family is and who they know and who they're connected to.
But what happens when you're wrong? Because according to the prosecution, that's exactly what happened here. And at some point during the chase, Andy Chow, the store owner's son, is closer to Cyrus than Rick Chow is. Rick Chow is the daddy. So Andy, the son, says something to the effect of, Dad, he's got a gun. And then boom, Rick Chow, the dad, fires, shoots, and kills Cyrus. Now, let me tell you what I think happened. I think that the Chows deal with a lot of shoplifting, and I think that they're sensitive to it. I think a young black teenager walked into the store wearing a backpack, and they told him to take it off, and he complied. I didn't tell you that earlier. They told him to take his backpack off, and he said yes. And I think right off the bat, they were already suspicious. They were paying close attention to him. So he goes over to the waters, he touches them, he maneuvers them around, but he leaves, and he doesn't buy anything. They see a bulge in his hoodie, and they convince themselves that it's a bottle of water. Now, maybe that's because they deal with shoplifters all the time. Maybe racial bias plays a role. I don't know. I'm not in their heads, but I do think they convinced themselves that he stole something when he didn't. As a matter of fact, it's more likely that whatever that bulge bulge was, if that was the weapon, whatever, it was there when he walked into the store. So they go after him. Cyrus, the 14-year-old, notices they're following, and then he takes off running. Now, could Cyrus have stopped running? Sure. But remember, Cyrus had a gun on him, a gun he wasn't supposed to have. He was 14 years old.
Yeah. 14, you got a gun. You've been followed. You don't know why you've been followed because you didn't get nothing. I get a walk. Man, I do that. I go to the store, man, let me get this back. I don't need them. And walk out. That don't mean you chase me. You check them cameras. You check them cameras.
Personally, I think that's the reason he ran. I think he knew he wasn't supposed to have that gun. He didn't want to get caught with it. So now you have a teenager running as fast as he can, trying to get away. At some point, he runs, he trips, he falls, the gun comes out, and I think this is where it goes wrong. Like, I do think that Andy Chow, the son of the Chows, saw the gun and said, Dad, he's got a gun. And I think Rick Chow heard that and panicked and shot Cyrus. I think he assumed his son was in danger and fired the gun. The issue, though, is that in trying to protect his son, he killed.
Now, I was gonna play that, but because she's also not FBA, from my understanding. I think she's Jamaican, and this chick that always be getting loud, the luncheon lawyer, she just be getting loud for no reason. Now, from my understanding, there's whole different scenarios about this whole gun situation. Let's listen in.
Social media is sad and outraged after Rick Chow was found not guilty of taking the life of innocent Cyrus.
Rick Chow asked to the charge of murder, not guilty. Fine number 3024.
You see, the story that Chow tells is that the boy was in his store stealing water, so they chased after him. That's when the boy whipped out a firearm, aimed it at them, and that's when Chow basically let off. Well, police and prosecutors say that's a lie because footage shows that not only did the boy never steal water out the store, and that was a complete lie made up by Chow, but even though the 14-year-old boy did have a firearm on him, they stated that the firearm fell, that he popped Cyrus in the back multiple times, nowhere near where the firearm was.
And that's that part right there. This is from the police report. Hey, the gun fell out of his possession. And he got hit multiple times in the back. I.e., he never turned. He never brandished it. None of that. So, my speculation, the gun fell out. The kid saw his old boy kid saw the gun. Dad, he had a gun. Okay, well, that's green light. I honestly think they was trying to kill him anyway.
That South Carolina jury said, nah, the dad was in the right. It's crazy because when the police, prosecutors, and the people all agree that somebody should have been in jail, then yeah, we know an injustice was done. Rest in peace to Cyrus. He did not deserve what happened to him. It's crazy that even with video evidence, they still found that man not guilty.
I think they were happy to pop him. I think they were hoping something crazy happens so they can pop him, or at least put hands on him. He's 14 years old. And y'all know June 1st is the Baseball Observers Day, right? Because why all three of you leave the store unattended? Y'all know how these folk are, whether it's the Indian Asians, the Chinese Asians, Korean Asians. They ain't leaving their store. They gonna lock up or something, but all three of y'all just took off. What conversation did y'all have in that store? How come that wasn't brought up? Like, hey, what'd they say in their native tongue? What was the conversation? I'm just, this is the way I think. Now, myself along with others, we have thoughts about this. Like, how did you have video evidence? You have a scenario where it should be slam dunk. Should be slam dunk. Open and shut case. Y'all have cameras. The camera show he put it back. The cameras, they have cameras behind the register. Don't think they don't. How come y'all didn't get that footage? I don't know. Everybody leaves the store. Nobody's in there. You know how much damage somebody can do? Oh, ain't nobody in here? I'll never come back. I'm just passing through. Y'all chase him down. The police report shows that, hey, when you shot this boy, it was in the back, so he wasn't facing you. Multiple times. And it was further away, or at least away from where the firearm fell out of his possession. And some people blame the prosecution, saying, hey, how come y'all didn't argue that he put the water back? What What were all these arguments you had? You had a chance and time to argue. He put the water back. You got cameras. Things of that nature. There's things I think of. And people feel the type of way. Such a type of way that folk want to crash out.
Hey, we stealing out of every Chinese convenience store we know in honor of my boy Cyrus, man. The way they did my boy Cyrus, bro, that shit fucking with me, bro. And I don't even know that nigga, bro. So, hey, we sticking up every Chinese store around this bitch.
So let me say this in no uncertain terms. We not doing that shit. Not because I'm a coward, because we got to think outside of emotion. They already got an anti-hate crime bill for them. Do we want them to increase the protections they get? Think about it. Now, what we can do, because I'm not let's not do nothing, we're going to pray about it type person. Nah, damn that. Don't buy nothing out of stores. I used to work for a gas station. I used to work for a racetrack. I was about 21 years old. What you do, and this is how it works. See, the gas comes from somebody else. The gas is the attractor to the store that's inside from where you get your gas. The little convenience store, see, that's where the money's being made. The gas is just to get you there, to get you to the destination. We want you inside buying little snack cakes and chips and sodas and all that stuff. That's why there's always these 2 for $5 here, 2 for $7 there, all these type of deals. You buy one of these crunchy ass hot dogs with a bag of chips and the water and you save $1.99 or something like that. That's where the money's at. You hit their pockets like that. You find a black-owned gas station if you can, and you go there and you shop that convenience store. I'm from Texas. There's a sister who owns a gas station over there off of Matlock. It's a 7-Eleven. There's 2 of them. There's one on the right when you get off of Matlock. There's a gas station on the right. The first one on the right, when you see it, don't go to that one. That's not the one. The one across the highway, across the bridge on the right, that's hers. I got to confirm she still got it. I think she still has it. I'll put her locations in the community tab. You find the black-owned station and you make a detour there. It's far away, so they do it to us. Have you ever seen? Tell me when was the last time you ever seen an Asian getting the gas in your community? Any Asian, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, from any parts of Asia. Explain it to me. Because you haven't. They will go out their way not to deal business with us. We have to be the same. If you're on a trip and you can't get to, you about to run out of gas, get gas only and get enough to get to the black-owned station. And get your snacks there. Man, I'm hungry. Hey, set your ass up. Set your ass up. We finna go to the black folk. We finna go to the good gas stations because they always be having old ass, stale ass chips and snacks and stuff like that anyway. Been sitting there for years. They get the old ass shit and it's recycling from one store to the next. So it ain't like you're getting a good quality product that's fresh. Anyway, take your ass over there with us. Go over there with us. That's what we do. That's how we retaliate. We need them out of our neighborhoods anyway. Another thing we can do is stop supporting these weird ads that are actually AI. They always try to pull at the heartstrings of FBA brothers and sisters, particularly our sisters. I know y'all seen that one girl, I usually don't do this, but please check out my stuff. And you look like, oh, okay. At first I was like, oh, okay. And then I kept seeing it and seeing the same style. See, there was an older woman and then there's this young chick. And I was like, huh. And I saw this young boy with his father. I'm like, wait a minute. And I had to look, oh, that's AI. They got the 89,000 people following them. That's how devious this is. Well, Victor, how do you know they're not black owned? I don't know who owns it. Typically, when we own something, we're loud and proud about it. Because, see, what I have a problem with these businesses is we go to their site and this got cut off. It shows 2026. Okay, I was able to get this one. 2026 Myers Buckles. It shows 2026. So these fairly new companies, and when you try to look for the company owner, you don't find nothing. Privately owned. We're not doing that. And that's really a problem for me, you know what I'm saying? Because when they do some of these ads, commercials, like I told you guys, they like to play on our heartstrings. Like you see this next one. Now, I followed this next one up with the company we should support, and I'll explain why.
Comment says, I'm tired of you people and your fake holidays. The real Freedom Day is July 4th. No one is buying your shirts.
One thing you must remember, that black all by itself is luxury.
Yeah, actively black. We should support actively black. We should support this. These gonna be up. If you can't see the owner, and they are unapologetically black, foundational black Americans, shout out to Lanny Smith, myself and others, shout out to our brother Nubia Apparel. Stop giving them your money. All right? We gotta clean that up. We gotta tighten it up. Now I know with actively black, their own Pan-Africanism. The reason why I give them a pass is because of two things they've done. Actually, three things they've done, which for me garners my respect in the highest order.
First and foremost, man, I apologize. I know I probably went off on you. Hit me one night and you said, hey man, I got the trademark for tendonism, and that set me back. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's something that Walt created. Why do you have the trademark? So I want you to kind of talk through, you know, your role in securing the trademark for tendonism and the thought behind that. Why did you do that?
Hey man,
Actively
look,
black.
Hey man, check this out. We definitely active, and we definitely black.
This is the camera that image was taken with. That is a Rolleiflex, a twin lens by 2.25 film camera that I had with me on an assignment coming back from the lower part of the state where I did an assignment for Jet Magazine. And
here for a special episode of No Fabrication today. What's up, tribe? It's Lanny Smith, the founder of Actively Black. We're here for a special episode of No Fabrication. Today, I have a special guest. We have the creator of the Juneteenth flag, Mr. Ben Haith. This is an honor to be able to talk to the creator. I'm sitting here with Living Black History. So I'm glad that you...
See, I can respect that because, you know, he makes sure all of them getting the cut of the sales. Yeah, see, you see the Black American Heritage flag being promoted everywhere, but is family benefiting? He made sure he went to the creator of the Juneteenth flag and said, boom, we cutting you in. Let's get the licensure right. Let's get the paperwork right. Cecil Williams, hey brother, we think that's iconic. We would like to put that on some merch. Woo whoop. Untendonism. Sat down with the lawyer and Untendonism to break it down so we get the story straight. I can respect that. I can support that. Another thing is we have a similar type of story, and a lot of us do. His people come from sharecropping, just like mine.
This is my great-grandmother who picked cotton as a sharecropper. For those of you who don't know what sharecropping was, it was basically an extension of slavery, if we're being honest. Since slavery was outlawed after the Civil War, a lot of these slave owners would lease the land to these people and would pay them basically pennies, below livable wages, for the same work that they were doing while they were slaves. So picking the cotton, the tobacco, all those things, but it was below livable wages. So these people didn't have any economic power or freedom and essentially were forced to do the same thing they were doing while they were enslaved. And because during slavery, it was illegal for enslaved people to learn how to read and write, you had a lot of people who were illiterate, who didn't know how to read, who didn't know how to write once slavery was over with. So it was impossible for them to get any other job other than the ones that they had been doing while they were enslaved. This is my grandfather, Jesse Williams, who was half white because his mother that you saw on the previous slide was raped by the white man who owned the land where they were sharecroppers. And so similar to what happened during slavery, there was no justice. There was nothing that she could do about it. She was raped, and my grandfather was the child that was the result of that rape. My grandfather had to stop school in the 3rd or 4th grade to help his mother and the rest of his family in the fields pick cotton. So this was a generational thing that continued to impact Black people and their families even after slavery was over with. In order for them to pick enough cotton to get paid enough to just eat, they had to have their whole families out in the field picking this cotton. This is my grandmother, Sevilla Williams. Just like my grandfather, she had to stop school in the 4th grade so that she could help in the fields picking cotton. Very dark-skinned woman. And as the story was told, my grandfather being mixed, being the only mixed kid in his family, his brothers were Black. He wanted to find the darkest skinned Black woman that he could to marry and have Black children with. This is my mother in his lap. That's Alfreda Smith, my mother, and my Uncle Charles. Now, my mother was the first in the family to graduate high school and graduate college.
As you see, B1 family, we come a mighty long way. And we have a long way to go, but we're going to fight. We're resilient. We're brilliant. We are innovators, creators, trendsetters. We are all the above and everything. They spent decades trying to make us feel like our Blackness and our existence had no meaning and we were useless. And that has never been the case. Thank you for all your love and support. I'll have the shirts on the website. I'll put it on the community tab. I'll try to make sure I put it with this video. Until next time, peace and Black empowerment. FBA all day.